rear swing arm stand or the Abba center stand? Which to use? Let's find out. Hey, how's it going? I'm screwed. I broke my bike. Well, sort of. You'll recognize this, right? That is a rear swing arm spool for using on a rear swing arm lift. This is one of two off the 2016 Ninja. The other one, gone. Gone because the exhaust hit the top of the spool, sheared it completely off, including the welded mount on the swing arm, and it's gone. Left a little dent on the underside of the exhaust too. If you look at the video, I'll link it somewhere. When I got the 2016, I put these new spools on, and I even commented, gee, I think they might be a little long, right? And they were. And so I've lost one, and now I can't put new spools in because one side has no threaded mount. I'll show you that. So, what to do? I have to get the rear wheel up off the ground so that I can perform maintenance and etc. So I could weld it, weld a new mount on there. No, I can't. Talk about a wrenchy moment. I will screw that up to all. Yeah, don't even talk about that. So that's not an option. I'm not going to buy a new swing arm. So I need to find another lifting solution. We can't scissor lift the bike because it doesn't have a tubular frame or anything structural underneath. It's just got the exhaust and the engine, and you can't get anything under there to really lift it up. And there's really nothing that can get the clearance that I found, at least, for like a scissor lift or something that's even further back towards the swing arm. I mean, I suppose I could use the normal swing arm stand that has the little rubber rollers that come up under the swing arm, but in my experience when I've used that, it's super sketchy. It slides around a bit on there. It's not a real stable. I'm sure they make other swing arms stands that maybe have like a large cup that would go under there, but I don't know if I'll have the clearance between the exhaust and whatnot. So I bought something and I've tried it out, and I want to show you what that looks like. So hang on a sec. Alright, the way this works, you have two pieces. You have the main piece here, and this adjustable piece that slides onto the bottom tube. Rests up on these feet. This tube is torqued down by this little friction nut here. These connectors here hook into the swing arm bolts, or the hollows in the swing arm bolts on the bike. This is on the left side, this is on the right side. They come with these adapters that fit almost all bikes. I mean, I should say they're fitted for all bikes. These happen to be from mine, of the 2016. And the way this is supposed to work is you get this thing on the right side, get this on the left side here, and this bar goes underneath the bike, and you then slide this thing on and cinch it down just snug so there's no slack on the other side. And this extension handle is what you use to ratchet the bike up on. So let me show you how we normally do it, right? You know the drill, right? You get one of these wonderful stands. Mine happens to be from steelhorsefab.com. I got it, oh my goodness, I got it years ago, and this thing's just solid as a rock. You know how this works, right? So here's your basic lift. It's got these brackets here that go around the swing arm spool. It also has an option to use these rubber coated rollers that go underneath the swing arm. I mentioned those. Those are kind of sketchy for me, so maybe this isn't the best setup for those, but as far as swing arm spools, this is fantastic. So you know how this goes in. It's super simple, right? It's a one-person job. Just get the bike upright, line the little brackets on your swing arm spools, and one-handed, you're up. That's it. And once it's up, side to side, this thing is stable as hell. Front to back, stable as hell. I mean, I can roll it a little bit if I want to, which is kind of handy, by the way. But this is going nowhere. Love that, right? So that's the way it's supposed to go. And you can see where the swing arm spools screw into the swing arm on these little brackets. Let me show you the other bike. So here we are down at the swing arm, and then you can see this bracket right here. That is where the swing arm spool goes in. You can see it's welded onto the swing arm. Let's go around to the other side. And if you look here, there's no bracket. This is where, let me see if I can do this. This is where it used to be. It is sheared clean off. And that is the problem. In fact, maybe I can show you this too, but this is the underside of the exhaust. Right here. This is the underside of the exhaust. See that dent? And that's where we made contact on the exhaust. And that's not good. Okay, so we get this underneath like this. Get her lined up in the one hole there. And then we get around the other side. So we get around the other side here. And let's see if I can do this with one hand. And here we go. And this bar, and it goes over like that. And you kind of line it up with the other nut there, or the bolt hole, I should say. Now I'm going to need both hands to do this, so I'm going to need to straighten the bike up. Well, you'll see. All right, so we get this in. I'm kind of holding that up. This line. And then realign. Okay. So now that that's kind of in, I'm going to slide this bar in a little bit. Alright, so now we'll torque down this nut just to keep it from sliding out. And then we turn on this thing just to take the slack out of it. It's not super tight torque we need, just to take just the slop out of it. You can feel it kind of cinch up there. There we go. Okay, now here's the fun part. Straighten the handlebars out, extend the rod here, and then we just pull, and up it goes. Pretty slick, huh? So you can see the back wheels up off the ground. Here, let me take you around the bike once here. So you can see that's in the hole here on the swing arm. It's resting up on these feet right here, and that bar across the bottom. And it's in the other hole here, and likewise sitting up on the foot. So that's kind of the deal. It really doesn't take much effort to bring it up on the stand itself, because it does have this leverage here with quite a long retractable bar. Nice comfy grip on it, so it's kind of nice. So this is the Abba Super Pro. So that works pretty well, and I've used it several times now, and pretty happy with it, but there's a couple things I don't like about it. One, you already saw, there's a lot of futzing back and forth to get this thing lined up, and both sides aligned, and you know, sometimes it comes out and you're messing about. I mean, there's even a little bit of a scratch right here. I don't know if you can see that. That's from this when I'm trying to line it all up, so not too happy about that. The other thing I'm not too happy about, and I need to be careful, is this is not as stable. See, I can rock this thing with very little effort. In fact, I could probably pull this thing right off the stand going backwards. Forwards, it's solid as rock. I mean, it's stable forward. But backwards, that's a problem, because there's nothing holding it from going backwards. And that bothers me, because if I'm on the rear of the bike here, you know, trying to torque something down, I've got over pressure on the back, or on pinch bolts for chain adjustment, or whatever I'm doing back here, I'm concerned that this thing's going to rock back on me, and you can see the kickstand's up, this thing will just go right over. So this bothers me. So, you know, some of you guys, maybe you have this, one of these yourself. Have you found, sorry, big truck going by. Great. The stability is kind of a problem for me. Side to side, it's pretty good, but and forward, it's pretty good. Backwards, it's sketchy. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. I mean, I watched the videos, I read the instructions, and it's all pretty straightforward. I seem to be able to get it up on the lift just fine. Maybe you guys have experience with this guy, and maybe you've got a solution for that. I don't know. If you do, you know, send me a comment. I'd like to try to figure this out. My option of like welding a new bracket for a new spool is really not an option. I don't have a welder. I haven't welded in 25 years, maybe 35 years, and so I don't know if I want to put a bunch of heat on my swing arm. I'm not going to buy a new swing arm. So this is kind of, you know, the option here. So let me know what you think. You know, I should mention they have another option for this. Actually, Abba, again, that's ABBA. I'll leave a link down in the show notes for you on that if you want to check it out yourself. They have a bunch of models. This is, again, I mentioned, this is their Super Pro, they call it. They have an option for this one where they have another bar that slides on to this main bar that goes underneath that comes forward. I don't know, about maybe out to there or something, you know, like that. And the purpose of that, and actually there's I think it's actually two bars. One that goes forward, one that goes to the rear. I think it's one unit slides on. I'm not exactly sure. I'll look it up. I probably got that wrong. But the point of it is, what that's for is to allow you to take a cinch strap from the rear of the bike to that bar, and when you bring the cinch strap up, you can actually elevate both wheels at the same time, which seems pretty cool. You know, if you're doing something on the front wheel, or just the front wheel, or just the rear, there's a couple of ways you can do that. So that seems pretty cool. I think it's another $80 US for that particular bar. And that may actually help that front to rear stability as well, since you have two legs, you know, one going forward, one going aft, and that may stabilize it right there. But gosh, another, you know, another 80 bucks, number one. Number two, the base model isn't stable. Yeah, I'm not sure that's right. You know, it should be stable by itself. Again, it could be me. Again, so I might be doing something wrong. Let me know. So how about taking it off the stand? How does that work? Well, it's pretty much the opposite. Watch. Stand. Slowly rock it backwards. And boom. We're down. Pretty easy. And taking it apart is just the reverse of the original process. On this. And loosen the tension here. And this pops off. And this pops off. That's it. So there it is. The Abba Super Pro motorcycle lift. Let me know what you think of it. Leave some comments below. Let me know if you've got have other experiences with it. And I'll see you on the next one. Keep wrenching. Cheers.